Hi God, have any of you seen Sentinel and my sword at all?
Yes, Captain. We have. He's right here, if you want to see him. What do you guys mean by that?
What did you idiots do? Why did you kill Sentinel with my sword? We found him working with the Sentinels, your primeness, and took action to protect you and your fellow brothers and sister. Well, I appreciate that, but you guys could have just told us instead of just killing him. We did. We told Vector Prime. He said he was going to tell you guys. And on to the review. What? Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Firestorm Reviews. And today we'll be having a look at the new Transformers Age of the Prime, Prima Prime. Try saying that 5 times fast. So yeah. The new Transformers line that's out now is all about the Primes. And we're getting brand new figures of every single one of them. From Prima all the way to Megatronus. I will do the rest of the 13 when I get my hands on them. For now, we'll be just doing Prima. But before we have a look at him, let's have a look at the new boxes that they're giving us for this series. So yeah, the new boxes. I'm happy they brought back the plastic cover in here, because personally I never liked them having the open packaging, because it felt like it was too easy for people to steal or break the figures. And I also love the new gold trim that they have for these boxes. But I also gotta say, when I get my hands on a new Studio Series figures, I will have some critiques about these new box styles. But about the box, I like, here it is, we have the Prime symbol. That's seriously what the Prime's logo is. Their name, their Age of the Prime, Transformers, CGI render of vehicle mode, CGI render of robot mode, images of some of the 13 being Prima, Vector, and Alpha Trion, or Age of the Prime, Voyager classes, whatever that stuff says up there. The back of the box with a symbol showing he can hold the Matrix in his chest. An image of the Star Saber, him wielding the Star Saber vehicle, takes 20 steps, boring tech stuff. Top of the box, and CGI render of himself, and another title drop and name. And also, you can see in the box it has like this cool blue spacey thing. Yeah, I kind of ripped it trying to get him out of the box. So yeah, let's move on to the box and onto the figure. So, Prima, I gotta say, he's a very nice figure. Personally, I'm not a fan of the color scheme too much. I kind of preferred his design from Transformers 1 with the color scheme. I would like if they go with the gold instead of the grey. Sure, grey is like a great accent to white, and the blue highlights. Mwah, chef's kiss. And of course, we get his classic sword, but I'll talk about that when I get to his accessories. Let's just focus on the figure. And yeah, the painting is very nice. We got the return of clear plastic. So far, it seems pretty well off. But I am going to be watching it because I don't trust clear plastic. And we get it, and it's an alright backpack. Definitely not the worst of the backpack figures. And most of his gaps are somewhat filled in. But I never really cared about characters showing off gaps and all that. And we got weird looking things on his face. Seriously, what are these meant to be? Horns, ears, what? And also, does anyone else think his head looks a little bit like Megatron's G1 Buckethead look? Seriously, is it just me? And of course, we can open up his chest with a lot of beautiful detail in there. Have a look. And now, let's have a look at his accessories. So, his accessories are the Star Saber. Most of you probably remember this weapon from the show Transformers Prime, where Optimus Prime uses the cutter mount it in half, and make Megatron look absolutely terrified. And yeah, he also comes with, if I can get it off the sword, a Matrix of Leadership, but this time in grey. Well, let's put that in the pile. Alright, so yeah, his Matrix is alright, but I gotta say, he can't really hold it like how Optimus Prime and Hot Rod could with their Matrices, because his thumbs are a little short, so you can't really hook them on there. And it's okay, now you decide to have a strong hold. Every other time I've tried posing you with the Matrix in your hand, you've always dropped it. Right. Anyway, you're probably never going to display him wielding the Matrix like how Optimus Prime and all that are, because most of the time you're probably just going to have it slotted here on the sword. And I gotta say, this is a nice looking sword. I kind of wish the blade was a little bit thicker. And this silver part is alright. You can also see his symbol there. The back, not so much. Got a small peg to plug into the port here, so you can have it, hold it on his back, and you can put it in his hand here. But I gotta say, him holding his sword feels very off, mainly just because of the handle here. What I personally would have preferred them to do is just extend it a little bit to make it a bit more look like it's a two-handed weapon. Sure, him just holding it like this was like, oh yeah, he's basically a demigod, so him wielding a two-handed weapon with a single hand just be easier for him. No weight at all. But it just doesn't feel right to me, personally. And yeah, let's do some quick scaling, and then we'll move on to his transformation. Here we have him with Transformers 1, Optimus Prime, and Megatron, my previous reviews. Please check out that one and leave your thoughts on them in the comments of that video. And yeah, he looks nice alongside them. It's weird having two Primes next to each other. Alright, now let's move on to the next lot. Here we have him next to the only true Sentinel Prime worthy of being called a Prime, and Transformers 1 Alpha Trion. And here we have him alongside some Herald of Unicron figures. Of course, Scourge and Cyclonus. Let's hope they behave. Ah, great, they're trying to kill each other now. And here he is alongside Team Firestorm. And now let's move on to his posability and then transformation. He has the standard amount of articulation, balls joined at the head, which allows him to look up that far and down that far. His arm can do a full 360. Shoulder panels move. Oh, sorry, accidentally hit the camera with his sword. I'll just put that off to the side. His shoulder panels can move up and outwards, which allow for his arm to move outwards. He has 360-degree rotation at the elbow, at the shoulder, bend at the elbow about that far. Ball socket hand, which gives it a little bit of wiggle room, and hands can open up, which I feel like is becoming a more common thing on figures. He has a waist that can almost rotate 360 degrees. His side skirts can come out. He has standard leg articulation with the rotation at the thighs. Can kick out and go back that far. And as one specific YouTuber says, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, beautiful spread. Can bend at his knees. And a very decent ankle tilt. So yeah, his articulation's very great. Now let's show off some of the poses you can get him into. Here we have him standing in a heroic pose. Here we have him dueling with Heralds of Unicron. Which, for one, why haven't you gotten something like this in a show yet? Here we have him doing one of those running while swinging actions. And last, here we have him T-posing. Now, let's move on to the transformation. Okay, first transformation. First, you're going to want to take his sword out. One thing I like to do when he transforms is take the matrix off it and open up his chest and just slot it in there. Close up his chest. And for now, we'll just put the sword off to the side. Let's give it the firestorm to hold. Alright, forgot. You need to be a prime to be able to hold that thing up. Anyway, let's get on to the transformation. First, you're going to want to take these panels here, untab them and fold them out like so. Then take his wrists here and fold it upwards. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Then we just want to lift his arms outwards a little bit. Then rotate his shoulders around. Then we untab his back, bring it down like so. Then we take his front of his half, spin it around. Then we come back, just lift that up a little bit. Then we take these wheels here, bring them out. Then we fold up his head. And then we just want to untab this from where it sits. So it's like that. Then we come back to the torso. We want to first bring this up a little bit and then fold that up. Make sure it tabs into there. My copy doesn't really tab in very well, so it might pop out during transformation. Bring the other one up. Tab it in like so. Slot these into rest. Come back to his arms, and they should have folded in by themselves, but if they haven't, just take them like so and slot them into the little pegs there. They can be a bit tricky to do so. Then you just want to fold this up a little bit. Then we come to the legs. Then first we tab them in. Then we spin him around and take out his wheels here. Fold them up and out. And then we fold up his feet. Then we lower his legs down a bit. Fold them inward. Be careful, they might untab. And then gently slide them in like so. Connect the tabs that are there inwards. It may be a little bit tricky, but there you go. Then you take his wheels here and fold them down like so. There. Then you have him in his space jeep mode. But then, if you want to know how to store his weapons, first you just take that off whoever you gave it to hold it. And then you rip it apart, like so. You take the blade, make sure it's facing like this. And then you should see in there a small port where you just slowly back the sword up into. And there. And then you take the handle, the hilt of the sword, and then just tab it into the holes on the side of the wheels. And then boom, you have his weapon storage. So yeah, Prima's vehicle mode. A pretty nice, small, tough terrain vehicle. But it does have a second ultimate mode, so he's technically a triple changer. But I don't really know if you would call this triple changing. First you want to take his wheels, untab them like this. Oh wait, no, first you want to remove this just so it's not on the road. Then fold his wheels like so. This may cause some parts to come untabbed elsewhere in the vehicle mode. Just want to clean those up if they do. And then boom, you have him in his second mode, a hover version of the vehicle. I'm not sure what Hasbro was thinking. They just chucked that in there for some reason. Let's just fold him back into his regular car mode. There. And let's just take the sword out for now and put it off to the side. Now, let's move on to the discussion of the vehicle mode. Alright, so Prima's vehicle mode. It's clearly meant to be a Cybertronian troop transporter maybe, or heavy armored truck. It's hard to tell and all that, but it's a very nice vehicle mode. But I do have to say, it does have a bit of disability stabilization issues, with like these tabs here being a bit of a pain when transformation. And for some reason, my one doesn't work if the torso isn't untabbed, like not fully hidden away. Like it needs to be rest in a certain spot. And his secondary vehicle mode, very lazy and all that. Definitely not a fan of that, but it's okay-ish. Yeah, so yeah, the vehicle mode definitely is an alright vehicle mode. Of course, you get the robot hanging out underneath, but that's alright. But I do find it a little bit creepy, like, say you're doing work under this vehicle and you just see a head just staring at you. Yeah. And the clear plastic seems to held up alright. It's only a matter of time, I gotta say. Let me know in the comments if any of your copies of this guy have ended up breaking or something. Alright, now let's move on to his size comparisons with other vehicle modes. Here he is with the Transformers 1 cast. Here he is next to Sentinel Prime and a random Geostorm Bergia. And here we have him next to some of my Heralds of Unicron. And here he is to some of the cast of Team Firestorm. I ran out of space to show them all next to him. Alright, now let's move on to my final thoughts of the figure. So, Age of the Primes, Primer. Again, try saying that 5 times fast. I gotta say, he's a very good figure and a great starter for the primes that are coming out. I'm definitely going to be getting the rest of them. My main target right now is Solus Prime. So yeah, if you want him, definitely pick on it. Just remember, he does have a bit of annoyanceness in his shoulders with the armor placement. And that's really all I got to say on my final thoughts of him. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my next video, which is going to be a bit of a special type of video. Now, like and subscribe, and roll out.